Hey there tech fans, Rick here again from the OREI team with an overview of the BK-401S 4-input, 1-output 8K HDMI switch. This product was designed to make it incredibly easy for you to share a single ultra-high definition monitor with up to 4 different HDMI media devices at the same time while providing control over which of those media streams is being displayed on that monitor at any given time by tapping the button on the front of the unit or by using the infrared remote control from the comfort of your couch. The product also provides an automatic mode that will analyze the 4 inputs and pick the one that's active and send that along to your monitor. The product fully supports 8K ultra-high definition media content and is both HDMI 2.1 as well as HDCP 2.3 compliant. Now, as part of this review, I'd like to start with a quick unboxing just to show you everything that's included with the kit, and then I'll take a closer look at the BK-401S and I'll explain the connections and indicators so you understand how to use it. I'll list the features and functions the product provides, and then I'll come back and do a quick demonstration to show you just how easy this product will be to use with your own equipment. So let's get started with the unboxing. When you first pop open the box, you'll find the BK-401S. You'll find a single power supply. This is a standard DC 5-volt power supply. You can simply plug this into the wall. The other end of it has a USB-A port on it. There's also a cable included with a USB-A to USB-C connector. You can plug the USB-A into the charger, and the USB-C plugs into the back of the unit and provides all the power you'll need for operation. Now, one advantage to having this be 2 parts is that if your media equipment has an open USB-A port on your monitor or on your media devices, you can plug this in there, and that eliminates the need to use the power supply. You'll also find an infrared remote control included, and even a set of batteries to get you started, and a full instruction manual that lists connection diagrams, specifications, and a lot of other really good information about this product that you'll need to understand in order to use it correctly. Now, if you stay tuned next, I'll take a closer look at the unit, I'll list the features and functions, and then I'll do that demonstration. The BK-401S features a full metal enclosure which makes it incredibly durable and the perfect choice for both residential and commercial installations. On the front of the unit, starting on the left, you'll find a power indicator. The minute you add power to the unit and turn it on, it immediately starts an internal power on self-test where it checks the electronics. It also checks the resolution of all the inputs and the resolution of the output display to make whatever adjustments are needed to give you the best possible picture. Once it finishes that test, it'll light this LED letting you know the module is ready to use. To the right of that are 4 more LEDs labeled 1, 2, 3, and 4. These indicate which of the inputs is currently being displayed on the monitor, and you can change that by tapping this button or using the infrared remote control. Every time you tap the select button, it'll move to the next input. If you're on number 4 and you tap it, it'll move back to number 1. To the right of those is another LED labeled Auto, and that indicates you're in automatic mode. This product, when it's in automatic mode, will select whichever input is available first. So if you power up 2 devices, whichever one becomes ready first will be sent to your display. And that can be really handy if you have this set up in your media center and maybe you've turned on a game console, it'll immediately send that output to the display. If you turn that off and turn on a DVD player, again, automatically it'll send that off to the display. You won't have to make any selections. And you can turn that on or off from the infrared remote. To the right of that is 1 more LED labeled IR, which stands for infrared, and that lets you know that you're in infrared mode, which means the infrared remote control is active, and you can turn that on from the remote. But if you're not using the remote control and you're only going to use the selection button like on your desktop, you can turn off the IR mode. You don't have to worry about that. Then finally, to the right of that is an infrared receiver window, and that's where the signals from that remote are picked up. So if you set this up on your media center, make sure that window is visible. On the rear of the units where you'll make all your connections, starting on the left is a DC input port labeled DC 5 volts. That's used with the included power supply. You'll simply plug that supply into a wall outlet. The other end of the cable from that has a USB-C connection on it which plugs in right there and provides all the power you'll need for operation. Now, one nice thing about this unit is the fact that it's using a USB-C connection, because if you have a media device that has an open USB-A port, you can use a USB-A to USB-C cable, plug it into that open USB-A port on the media device, and plug the USB-C end in right there, and you can eliminate the power supply. To the right of that is an HDMI port labeled Output. This connects to whatever display you'd like to use to enjoy the content from your 4 input devices. And to the right of that are 4 more full-sized HDMI ports labeled Input 1, 2, 3, and 4. These connect to whatever media devices you'd like to share across that monitor. Always use a high-quality cable for the best results. The OREI BK-401S is compatible with most modern digital devices, including media players like Apple TV, digital projectors, game consoles, laptops, and streaming devices. The product's features include full support of 8K ultra-high definition media content. It offers 4 inputs and a single output for connection to your digital devices. It is both HDMI 2.1 as well as HDCP 2.3 compliant. It features automatic switching and includes an infrared remote control. Now I'll show you the connections you'll need to make to use this product with your own equipment. And for this demonstration, over here I've set up 4 small media players. 3 of them are displaying images, and the 4th one is actually looping a video. And I did that just to make it easy to tell them apart. This is the media content that I'd like to share with my output display. Over here I've set up my monitor, and this is where I'd like to enjoy the content from my media devices. In front of me I have the BK-401S as well as the remote control. Now the first set of connections I'll make are from the media devices to the unit. I've already connected 4 high-speed cables up, and I'll plug those into input number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. Now you'll notice something interesting happening here. You'll see lights on the front. I haven't connected the power supply yet, and that's because this unit requires so little power that the voltage being sent across those HDMI cables is enough to power up the unit. But I always recommend using the external power supply so you don't draw too much current out of your devices. Now we're ready to connect up the monitor. I've already connected another high-speed cable to that, and I'll plug that into the HDMI output port on the back of the unit. And now we're ready to add power. I've plugged that power supply in. The other end of the cable is a USB-C connection, and I'll plug that into the back on the USB port right there. And now we're all set to go. Now the minute I add power to the unit, it immediately starts that internal power on self-test where it checks the electronics. It's also checking the resolution of my media devices and the resolution of the monitor to make whatever adjustments are needed to give you the best possible picture. So right now we're looking at input number 1 on the output. Let me switch it. There's another input. Now you'll notice it takes a couple of seconds before the image comes up, and again that's because the unit is making adjustments to give you the best possible representation of the content from that media device. Okay, now we're on the media player that's looping a video. Let me switch it again. There's a different input. I'll just walk through them, but about a 10-second delay between the switching, and again that's for the adjustment. Here's the 3rd one. Once this is done, I'll move on to the 4th one. Now, tapping that button on the front walks through the inputs, but you can get there a lot quicker with the remote control because this allows you to go directly to an input to be sent to your monitor. So if you've set this up in your media center, this is a great way to make your selections. If it's on your desk, you can just tap the button, but let me show you how it works. Let me move on to input number 3. And again, it takes a second or two, but I was able to skip over a couple of other inputs, and you'll see it pop up here on the screen. It's a really simple product to use. And once you make your connections between your media devices and your monitor, it's going to work just great for you. And it really is just that easy to get it working. I hope you found this overview of the OREI BK-401S 4 input, 1 output, 8K HDMI switch helpful. It really does provide a very simple solution for sharing a single ultra-high definition monitor with up to 4 different HDMI media devices at the same time, while providing easy control over which of those media streams is being displayed on your monitor at any given time by simply tapping the button on the front of the unit if you're close enough to it, or by using the infrared remote control if you're sitting in the comfort of your couch. It also has an automatic mode, which can be really handy because that'll analyze the 4 inputs and pick the one that's most active and send that along to your display. The product fully supports 8K ultra-high definition media content, and again is both HDMI 2.1 as well as HDCP 2.3 compliant, which means it's going to work perfectly fine with all of your modern media gear. Everything you need to get started is included with the kit. With a few simple connections, you can be up and running in no time. So until next time, thanks again for watching.